Project management process groups and knowledge areas. In project management, generally best practices dictate a very specific series of process groups that should be performed. These are referred to as initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. The project management knowledge areas can be simply defined as the key aspects of project management that should be overseen by project managers so they can plan, schedule, track and deliver projects successfully with the help of the project team and project stakeholders. Each of these project management knowledge areas needs to be managed throughout the 5 process groups. What are the 5 project management process groups? 1. Initiating. Initiating helps to set the vision of what is to be accomplished. This is where the project is formally authorized by the sponsor, initial scope defined, and stakeholders identified. Stakeholder identification is crucial here because correct identification and subsequent management of stakeholders can literally make or break the project. 2. Planning. A crucial element of planning is establishing the total scope of the project. While it may appear as though that was accomplished in initiating, scope, along with risks, milestones, summary and budget, was defined there at a high level. In planning, the project manager uses an iterative and more detailed planning technique, called progressive elaboration, which allows project documents to be developed at a much more detailed level over time. 3. Executing. Most of the project work is delivered within the executing group. In this step, you will work through the roadmap delivered by the planning group and provide updates to stakeholders identified by the initiating group, as needed. 4. Monitoring and controlling. The monitoring and controlling group interacts with all 4 process groups and acts as a liaison between them in an effort to make sure that the goals are met. 5. Closing. The closing group finalizes the project when objectives are met and is often led by the project manager, who will close out the project, make and review conclusions and formally archive any necessary project details. What are project management knowledge areas? Project management knowledge areas coincide with the process groups and are a set of standard guidelines and terminology. 1. Project integration management. Project integration management aims at keeping the whole project together by including essential documents such as a project charter. A project charter constitutes the project with assigning the project manager. A project management plan, which is one of the most important documents of this area, creates the roadmap for the project to guide everybody involved. Project integration management also aims at running and managing the project work. 2. Project scope management. The scope is the work to be done to complete the project. In order to define the scope, you need to collect the requirements and detail the features of the final product in a scope statement. Creating the WBS, work breakdown structure, which breakdowns the project work into smaller and manageable sections, is a fundamental step of this area. Monitoring and controlling the scope process includes accepting the deliverables and validating the scope during the course of the project. 3. Project time management. Every project has specific start and end dates. Time is an important input for any process. Once the WBS, work breakdown structure, is created, activities are detailed under each WBS level. Each activity has start and finish dates, as well as resources and budget. The plan schedule management process includes developing the project schedule by determining the activities in task lists. Logical links and relationships between the activities are established to represent the workflow. After creating the schedule, the next step is estimating and assigning the resources. The working calendar of each resource should be specified at this step. Finally, the critical path is calculated, and float for each task should be analyzed in order to make sure that the schedule is well created. Once the schedule is created, the monitoring and controlling phase comes, where you make earned value calculations to understand the performance of the schedule. 4. Project cost management. The project cost management area includes creating, monitoring, controlling, and reporting the project budget to make sure that the funds cover the extent of the project. Informing the stakeholders and the project sponsor regarding the budget is key to receive their support when needed. During the plan cost management process, you decide the method to create the project budget and procedures to control it. For an effective budget, the cost of each task should be estimated in detail by calculating the quantities of resources such as material, workforce, and equipment. This will determine the project budget, once you take all the task costs and combine them. Then comes the need to control those costs through an earned value analysis. This is performed regularly throughout the project to make sure the estimated costs are in line with actual expenditures. Once you complete the project budget, the monitoring and controlling process comes in which you make earned value calculations to determine cost overruns. 5. Project quality management. Without fulfilling the quality requirements, a project cannot be accomplished. In the overall project management plan quality management has an important place. Project quality management includes quality assurance works to ensure that quality standards are being met. In order to control the quality, the deliverables of the project should be inspected to ensure that Therefore, to control quality, the deliverables must be inspected to make sure that those specifications defined in the quality management plan are being met. 6. Project procurement management. Project procurement management includes efforts to procure goods, services, and hire subcontractors to successfully deliver the project. Procurement works affect both project budget and schedule. During the planning procurement management, you determine the outside requirements of the project and the subcontractor's involvement. Project procurement management includes defining the statement of work, terms of reference, and request for proposals while hiring subcontractors. 7. Project human resources management. A project cannot be carried out without managing the project's resources successfully. Creating the project team and tracking their performance is subject to human resources management. In order to facilitate the processes, a human resource management plan which specifies the roles and involvements of the positions is created. After determining the role of each position, you begin with employing the team members. You can pull team members from other projects either inside or outside the organization. Managing the team is an ongoing process in which you monitor and control their performance and resolve the conflicts between them. 8. Project communications management. Project communications management is one of the most important areas in the success of any project. Within a project, communication is the exchanging of information between the team and stakeholders in different forms. Communications inform the team and stakeholders, therefore the need to plan communications management is a critical step in any project. The communications management plan, which is the output of the planned communications process, determines how the communications will be conducted between the parties. The aim of monitoring and controlling communications is to review the process and make adjustments when needed. 9. Project risk management. The objective of creating a risk management plan is to identify, categorize, and prioritize project risks that might arise during the course of the project. Risk analysis is performed after the identification and classification of project risks. It is done to develop strategies to deal with risks. Monitoring and controlling risks includes analyzing the risk register and evaluating risks to understand their potential impacts on the project. 10. Project stakeholder management. Projects are carried out to fulfill the requirements of the stakeholders. So, they must be pleased with the outcomes of the project. Therefore, the stakeholders must be actively determined, analyzed, and managed to understand what their concerns are. Planned stakeholder management includes prioritizing and classifying stakeholders according to their impact to successfully engage the stakeholders throughout the entire project's lifecycle. The control stakeholder management process focuses on stakeholder engagement and adjusts their expectations. These 10 project management knowledge areas provide a direction to organize and classify the knowledge and skills required in a particular specialty in project management. Processes and tasks are grouped into common areas. By grouping many project management processes and tasks into a few areas, it's easier to know and recognize.